All right, Valeros, you're up first. What are you doing on your turn? On every single turn, you have the secret forbidden option to wait. Let's talk about why. In my first video, we learned that tempo is about utilizing resources that come back each turn. When you don't use your actions effectively, you're wasting them, and that's bad tempo. In my second video, we learned that actions now are worth more than actions later. Doing things earlier means they'll have a greater impact on the state of the battlefield. Today we're going to be challenging that. Tempo, after all, is calculated based on how much value you're getting from each action. Remember episode 0?
In Pathfinder, an action, as well as every other resource, is valued based on what other resources you can trade it for.
If you're not making good trades, you're gaining less tempo. Delaying seems like a tempo loss, because it is. You give up current value for future value. If we went purely off what I've said in previous videos, you might think you never want to delay. This is under the assumption that the conditions between when you take your actions don't change. However, tempo is only as useful as the value it generates. Sometimes, the numerical value you can get by waiting a turn or more will offset the tempo loss you paid earlier. For example, if you delay after your bard and they give you a +1 to strike, and your strike hits because of that +1, you've made back or even improved your tempo. If you wait for your swashbuckler to demoralize an enemy before casting your spell, and your spell lands because of the -1 from fear, you've made back your tempo. So why wouldn't you delay? Delaying has real costs, of course. You give up your actions now, but there are other considerations to make beyond a simple tempo versus value question. 1. You can't take reactions while delaying. No reactive strikes, no glimpses of redemption, no shield blocks, no wooden doubles, and no counterspells. 2. You can't delay negative effects. You're still going to take that persistent damage, and your spell will still expire at the start of your turn. Number 3. Delaying can incur an opportunity cost for your team. Waiting until your teammates set up for you can generate higher value for your turn, but you could also be the one setting up for them. You can't both delay after each other. Someone has to give up somewhere. Number 4, enemies. Right, enemy turns. Enemy turns complicate the delaying question greatly. Against a solo boss, sure, your entire party can shuffle their initiative order every time they act. But against 3 enemies, their turns are probably interspersed between your parties, and you bet they're going to take advantage of your inaction. If you're planning on delaying past an enemy's turn, your delayed value not only has to offset the tempo loss from waiting, but also offset the tempo lost to the enemy's actions. Let's make this numerical to demonstrate the value versus tempo trade-off. Example 1. You delay your juicy fireball so that the enemy can run into range and you can catch another guy in the blast. All of a sudden, you've turned their actions into your favor. Example 2. You delay because your ally has a reaction that can debuff enemies on the enemy's turn. Weight of Guilt, for example, can reduce an enemy's will save with Stupefied. Wait for your enemies to act first, and your actions might have a higher chance of success. In light of these examples, another consideration. Delaying, fundamentally, is speculative. Taking your actions now, and not delaying, means that you know all the variables going into your turn. Taking your actions later means variance might affect the situation before you act. You can't be sure the enemy will move in the way you expect, nor can you be sure that your ally's debuff will land. Choosing to delay, therefore, means you're making an educated guess that the value of your actions will increase significantly if you act later. Again, in order to offset the tempo lost from waiting. So, going back all the way to the beginning, to our lovely fighter friend Valeros, before you even ask, what should I do on my turn? You should be asking, when should I take my turn? The answer, of course, is up to you. You're the tactician. Evaluate the enemy, consider your allies, and plan your turns. Thanks for watching. As a final footnote, I've seen people think that you can lose a turn by delaying, or that you lose your turn if you delay to the next round, or that you can't even delay to the next round. These assumptions are not true. You only lose your turn if you delay all the way back to your original initiative point, and you can only do that if you delay to the next round. Think of it as taking actions in relation to enemy actions. Stop thinking of combat like a set back and forth, and more as a cascade of turns. Anyway, please subscribe and like the video. These take a lot of work and your support is greatly appreciated in the pursuit of tabletop education. Buy me a coffee or follow me on Blue Sky. See you next time.